Alright guys, so you have to agree with me here that it's pretty crazy how many changes Tesla has made to the Model 3 long range in the past month alone. It looks like there is a total of 3 different types of Model 3s across the world right now, and that's happening right before the Model 3 Project Highland redesign. So in the background, there must be a lot of different changes to the production line and the changes to the redesign overall that we're not aware of. But all this is making things a lot more complicated to know exactly which version you have. Now, if you haven't watched my previous 2 videos on the new long-range Model 3s, go watch that because there are a lot of subtle changes but very important changes to these models. So this next version here is going to be very specific to a certain area, and that is going to be in Europe. Now, you probably clicked this video because you noticed that the long-range model that they're getting in Europe has an enormous amount of range, but we'll get more into that in a few moments here. But let's take a step back here and let's talk about why Tesla is deciding to do this and why they're even deciding to do it now when the Model 3 Project Highland is slated for the next few months. So I'll make it sweet and simple here. The main reason they're doing this is because the lack of sales for the Model 3s in Europe. Now, for whatever reason, you probably already know that in Europe, they do like the hatchback designs much more than the sedan design, whereas in America, it's completely different. And sales of the Model 3 has been slacking over there. In Q1 of 2022, they sold roughly 32,000 Model 3s, and the same month and same quarter of 2023, they've only sold 18. So roughly about 50% of the total sales. So Tesla has seen the decline in Model 3 purchases over there, and they need to make something different, something new before the Project Highland even. So this is why they're releasing a vehicle as such. This is gonna be the Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive. Now, this vehicle was only available for a brief period of time in North America. You could pick up the Model 3 long-range rear-wheel drive, and this is gonna be essentially the best of the best for hypermiling because it doesn't have to factor in the additional energy for the front motors. But unfortunately, it didn't stick around for long because the consumers here very much prefer all-wheel drive just for all-weather safetiness, and they really care about the performance, and this is where rear-wheel drive cannot play that part. So because of that, they introduced the dual motor version, and that gave us a little bit less range, but it gave us the safetiness of all-wheel drive, and this is why we've all been waiting for this version to return again. So here we have it, the 620 kilometer range for this rear-wheel drive long-range version, and this is gonna be one of those vehicles that everybody really wants. Now hopefully this is gonna spark up sales again in Europe, and hopefully it does transition over to North America as well, because I do know a lot of people here that live in hotter climate areas don't really care about the all-wheel drive and just want the range. Now, don't get overly excited because 620 kilometer range doesn't necessarily mean you're gonna get the full amount. Compared to EPA, they are using WLTP, and they're very generous up in Europe with the range estimate. So take about 10% off of the actual range, and that's what you're gonna get in EPA. But even then, you're gonna get quite a bit of range compared to the current dual motor long range that we have here. You're looking at 534 kilometers for a full charge, whereas you're getting 620 kilometers for that same full charge in this newer model. Now, what's so special about this model is it's not gonna be available in the US, nor is it gonna be available in China. This is gonna be a specific model only available in Europe, and even as of right now, you can't even order it yet. It does say coming soon on the website. So any of you guys that are waiting to pick up a long-range model, I'd say wait a little bit longer because you might get a chance to get into one of these unicorns. I'll drop a link in the description below of all the inventory cars and all the coming soon vehicles. This is gonna be in Denmark, but if you click any other places, you're gonna see the exact same thing other than the language. Now, what I'm curious about is where these vehicles are going to be shipped from. I don't know, and I don't really expect it to be from the US factories, nor do I think it's going to be from the China factories. But then again, the Berlin factory is only pumping out the Model Ys at the moment. So out of the 3, let me know what you guys think below is the most likely. Now, if you ask me, this is a great idea what Tesla is doing because it gives the consumers a lot more options to pick. Those who want the long-range all-wheel drive version can pick that option, and those who want the long-range rear-wheel drive version can pick that other option. Those that do prefer the rear-wheel drive version have 2 benefits, and that is the longer range and the lower lower price tag. The only concern I really have is if they're gonna remove the all-wheel drive version in total, and that's gonna be the scariest part because there are still a lot of people in Europe who prefer the performance of the all-wheel drive. I really hope Tesla doesn't take away options like they did with the red in the Berlin factory. I know there are a lot of you guys that like the Midnight Cherry Red in Berlin. However, I do prefer the original red or the ultra red, and if they take that feature away or they take that option away, I'd be pretty disappointed. Now, my final thought to all this is, why are they putting so much effort into these variations of the long range Model 3s when the Project Highland version is coming out in the next couple months? I think maybe they're doing this because they don't want to ruin the current sales of the Model 3s in general. Tesla really cares about their sales number on their financials, and they really want to pump out as much vehicles as they can and don't want any of the slowdowns just because people are anticipating the newer vehicles. But that's just my thought. I might be wrong here, but let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Anyways, as soon as I hear anything else regarding the Model 3 Project Highland or the long range or any other vehicles, I will let you guys know first. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, that bell notification, and this is John once again. Peace out.